Thank you much. As we just keep on focusing on Nane Nane, because it is going to be, I think, a declaration of a collective declaration of what it is that we believe in. I think it is important for us to also remind ourselves of why exactly we're doing this. We're not doing this as a recreational activity. We're not doing this as an attention-seeking stunt. We're not doing this because other countries are doing it. We're doing it because we feel like enough is enough. In this country, we've seen that there's a systemic rot, and it's a system that needs to be overhauled. So we're not, and personally, I'm not being gentle about the fact that these systems do not work. It's not about installing people or instituting people in offices that do not work, in offices order of the day is corruption, in offices which you do not have autonomy, where if you're not controlled, you cannot. That's why I'm saying it is very important for us to, one, come to the collective conscience, but also speak to the people on ground, because currently, as we're holding the spaces, the president is also holding a campaign trail, because if you listen to whatever it is that's happening on that trail, it quite literally is just a campaign, and it's almost as if it's trying to allay the fears of the people. But we do not have a problem with an individual, because even if we had a functioning, even if we have, we remove an individual from office and replace him with a principled man, that would still be a problem. What we're calling for with this hashtag Ruto must go is a total overhaul of the system. We are not trying to have these broad-based conversations as they would have it, thinking in political factions, thinking of, we're just saying that this does not work. It is a total rethink of how we think of democracy and how we think of this country in terms of our independence. We still have a police force and not a police service. We still have corruption being the order of the day. We still have government official trading with their family members. Those kinds of things that we have said time without number are still going on. So as we go into Nane Nane, part of what we need to remember is we are not just trying to do a thing. It's not a retaliation. This is a conceptualization of the future we want. This is a rewriting of history as we would have it. When the colonialists were here, the Mau Mau said enough is enough, and they forged their future. And the various revolutions that have happened throughout time. This is us saying, from today henceforth, this is a system that we will want to work. It is not, a lot of people are trying to make it look as though we want to ban the country. And even if you think about the comparisons that they're making, it's just comparisons to try and instill fear. You've seen a lot of people who wanted to take advantage of the movement now gain their voices. You've seen goons come on the streets and abduct people and arrest and even beat and maim people. But you've also seen such enormous displays of confidence from various factions. I never thought that you could hold on to your comrade to ensure that they're not taken into police custody, into those tracks. I didn't know that it was not mandatory for anyone to be there. It's just that they have brutalized us and beaten. They want to beat us into submission and fear so badly, so that we lose our psyche and our collective desire for a better country. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice, whatever it is that we're doing is a total rewrite of what we want to see as a country. And I'm urging you not to give up. I'm urging you not to be afraid. I'm urging you not to feel discouraged because you're seeing that it seems as though some people are winning. Nobody is winning. We are saving this government from itself. People are trying to make it look as though we are trying to humiliate anybody. We are not trying to humiliate anybody. We're trying to say that we are tired of Kenya being compared to other countries. We want to write a story that works and functions for our country. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice, do not think that for a moment we are trying to oust a person so that we install a person that we love. No, we are inviting you to a total rethinking of this system. That is what we mean by Ruto must go. It means all elements of Rutoism, that all elements of corruption, all elements of cultism. It could be on Dingaism, Kenyattaism, Uhuruism, Kibakiism, all the isms that have bedeviled this country before. Those are the things we're saying we want to reimagine. So nobody has monopoly over the answer to the question, what next? What next will depend with what you decide to do from today. As we marshal for Nane Nane, it will depend on the amount of civic education, the amount of mobilization you do, the amount of encouragement you do, the amount of correcting misinformation when you see it online from those government boards, the amount of speaking to the communities and informing them that this is exactly what we are going to do. If we leave that responsibility to only one person, that's when you try and see them try and impose a leader on you. Like I've said numberless times, I am not a leader. I'm not a leader for this movement. I am a leader in my own right, but I'm not a leader for the movement. But everyone is trying to narrow down this movement to certain individuals. But this is an awakening of the entire country's conscience. It is not limited to Gen Z. It is a Kenyan political activity that we are undertaking and saying, this is not right, it's not working for us, and we have to rethink it. So if you're here and you keep on asking yourself, so what next? There's no time, because we are at the tipping point where we have the opportunity to rewrite the Kenyan narrative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kasmuel. Just two questions before we proceed. Do you think the other generations, especially the older generation, understand what you need or what you communicate? Question number one. And question number two, what would you then tell them? For example, if you could tell the first, I think he's dropped. Okay, I cannot see him anymore. I think he'll come back. I'll keep the questions for him when he comes back. Professor, over to you.